Hey guys, are you looking to build your dream house and just getting started and thinking, wow, this is a lot? Well, it is. But good news is you've got professionals that can walk you through it. So today we're going to talk about the approval process of a construction loan. And I thought, what better way to do that than bring in a guy that I work with on a daily basis, Brian Nesbitt. Brian, thanks for being here.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Brian is head of our construction department and does a great job. We work kind of in tandem. He does the construction part. I do the permanent financing on the back end, and it just works out great. So, Brian, we want to talk about the approval process. First question I had from one of our viewers was, how long should you expect the approval process to take?
Yeah, the approval process at First Commercial Bank is actually a very speedy process. Once we have all the proper documentation, which includes the actual consumer loan application, tax returns, pay stubs, those kind of basic information. Once we actually have the full file from you as a client, our approval process can be literally, we can get a pre-approval to you literally within just a few days.
Okay. So let's expand on that, because I think a lot of people get hung up. On my end, it's do an application, send in your W-2s, pay stubs, and we got you approved and you're out looking for a house.
Right.
But on your end, that's a little bit different. So let's talk about what that looks like. What all things should people be ready to gather up? What should they have in place? What should they be thinking about there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this gets overlooked a lot on the construction phase. I know that you guys preach this in terms of mortgage loan applicants, but just like you would tell a mortgage loan applicant to make sure you have a really clean personal balance sheet, make sure that you've got good savings built up, that you don't have a tremendous amount of debt. You don't want to get over yourself, ahead of yourself in the construction process, because just like with a mortgage where you could be trying to bite off more than you could chew on a mortgage, you could do the same thing on the construction process. So making sure that your bills are paid off, low debt, good savings, and we can talk more about that in some other questions. But on the application itself, we're just going to need very basic data that you would see for any traditional application. Salary information, assets and liabilities, any other obligations that you have, what money you have set aside in checkings and savings accounts, and other investments, so that we can get a good full picture of your financial health.
So should they come to you? Should they already know, like, here are my plans, here is my builder, here is what my builder's bidding on this? Do they need all that to begin, or do they just kind of know, okay, we're probably looking at spending $500,000 to build and we want to kind of back into this? Is there a right way to do that? Is there a wrong way, or is there a combination of both?
I think there's a combination of both. Just like on the mortgage side, where a client would come to you and say, hey, Adam, we want to buy a house in the next year. We're not really sure about the process. Can you help us prepare for it so that we do the right things ahead of time? I think that's a very smart way to go about it on the construction phase as well, so that you know of the things to be thinking about, preparing for, looking for. But yes, you could come to me with one of those two scenarios. Hey, we've got our plans together. We've selected a builder. We're ready to go. I mean, that's ideal, because then we can just hit the ground running, get the loan application in, get an approval, order an appraisal. We've already got the plans and the budget, and we're ready to go. If you're that sophisticated in terms of your planning and ready to go, great. But if you're also on the front end just saying, hey, we want to build, but we don't know what we want to do, help guide us. We can help them with that process as well.
Awesome. So, all right, we've got everything in place. We've got approved. Looking at the structure, the terms and conditions of the mortgage, how do those rates compare on a construction loan to, say, like me, it's going to be a 30-year fixed. It's going to be 6.5 for 30 years. Yours is a little bit different, right?
That's right. So, if to keep it as simple as possible, mortgage rates, as you know a lot better than me, are tied very differently to what, the Fed is doing. But in terms of construction loan rates and what you would typically see, most construction loans are going to be based on prime rate. So if you hear the news, even if you don't know all the details about how things work in the economy, if you hear just the news in general about the Fed has dropped rates, the Fed has increased rates, that will have a direct effect on construction loans, because construction loans is a variable rate, an adjustable rate that is tied to prime. And every bank may be slightly different in what their specific rate is, but in some form or fashion, it's going to be tied plus or minus to prime. And also with construction loans, some people may say, well, why is a construction loan, if you look at prime right now is 8%. Why is a construction loan higher than a mortgage rate? Well, on a mortgage rate, you've got an established home that's already there that the bank, has a lien against. When you're in the construction process, we have a little bit of lack of something to secure because you've got a land with a house you're going to build on.
Right.
So we're taking greater risk as a bank. So there's a slightly higher rate that ties to that.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's gonna vary each month, and it could.
That's right. Yes, subject to rates in the economy and prime going up and down. Yes. So in the current economy where things are today, if the Fed lowers rates as projected and you take out a construction loan today, there's a good chance your rate might go down over time if the Fed continues to drop rates.
Anything anybody else needs to know about the loan approval process that you can think of right now? Hate to put you on the spot. But.
No, I just think, some of the things we've already talked about, but just make sure that you have your ducks in a row, so to speak. Okay. We want to make sure that we are setting you up for success. And the way you set yourself up for success is to make sure that, you have a clean balance sheet. You don't have a lot of obligations out there. And if you do, that's fine. Everybody runs into binds and jams at times, but this may not be the right time to build if you're over leveraged. So you want to just take those things into consideration because as part of the building process, you're going to need cash to help finish that process. And there could be surprises. So you don't want to get into an uh-oh moment where you're strapped for cash and trying to build a house.
Perfect, man. Thanks for the information. Hey, guys, I hope this gets you one step closer to building your dream house. Reach out to me if we can help. My information's in the description below. I'll put you in touch with Brian. He'll talk you through the process. You can come into the office, sit down with both of us, or we can take a phone call, Zoom call, whatever you guys want to do. As always, subscribe to these videos so that you get notification every time we post one, because this is a complete series. We're doing a complete series on construction, by the way. And share this with your friends. I know you know somebody out there that needs to build a house, that wants to build a house. Share this with them. Tell them to get in touch with us and comment and let us know what you know. As always, I'm Adam Black, your lender for your life, and look forward to talking to you again soon.